Into the Revenue Service IRS tax news. Avoid the rush. President's Day marks peak time period for calls. Use IRS online tools in February to avoid delays. Get tax help. Avoid the rush. Yes, I know IRS. Much like my last office assistant, you just want my money, but don't want to have to actually talk to me. I do quite appreciate the online tools, though, by which I assume you mean like a website. And just so you know, I happen to have a very nice WordPress website myself over here that you guys might want to take a look at some point if you want. And I certainly wouldn't want to call in and disturb all those new people who you were going to hire with all that money you got from the Inflation Reduction Act so that you could use them to answer phones which would somehow reduce like inflation or something. Plus, I don't want to have to call in because I'm sure you have many women over 35 years old answering phones over there. And according to Don Lemon's logic, they're way past their prime to be answering phones.
This whole talk about age makes me uncomfortable. I think it's the wrong road to go down. She says people, politicians or something are not in their prime. Nikki Haley isn't in her prime. Sorry. When a woman is considered to be in her prime in her 20s and 30s and maybe 40s.
What are you talking? Wait.
That's not according to me.
Prime for what?
Past her prime. As if being president is the same as running for like Miss America or something. He's like, come on. Everyone knows all women are ranked on a universal scale starting from 1 to 10. And the average woman's score goes down after like 25 or so. Everyone knows. Just Google it. Just Google it,
It depends. I mean, it's just like prime. If you look it up, if you Google when is a woman in her prime, it'll say 20s, 30s, and 40s. I don't necessarily.
40s. Oh, I got another.
I'm not saying
decade.
I agree with that. So I think she has to be careful about.
Are you suggesting, Mr. Lemon, that the only way a woman could be president is if she's at her peak physical attractiveness? For shame.
Saying that politicians aren't in their
I
prime.
think you need to qualify. Are you talking about prime for like childbearing, or are you?
Although, if I knew nothing more about a candidate other than she was an attractive woman, I'd certainly vote for her over President Biden. But still, you can't say that. You can't say that, man. I mean, honestly, these days you can't even say a woman could only win a beauty contest if she was at her peak physical attractiveness. Hell, you can't even say a fat man who refused to even have a shave or tuck in his beer belly for 5 minutes couldn't win a beauty contest, I mean, or at least most people can't say that. I'm sure Don will be fine over there, but
don't shoot the messenger. I'm just saying what the facts are. Google it. Everybody at home. When is a woman in her prime? It says 20s, 30s, and 40s.
Any case, honestly, if you really want to increase productivity at the IRS, maybe try Don's advice and fire every woman over 30 years old, replacing them with men over 80 years old. And that'll fix it. Or maybe Don's logic is generated from a very narrow perspective, resulting in some ridiculous conclusions when taking reality into consideration.
I'm just saying Nikki Haley should be careful about saying that politicians are not in their prime and they need to be in their prime when they serve, because she wouldn't be in her prime according to Google or whatever it is.
For example, if Hillary Clinton ran for president, I guarantee we'll hear Don say at some point something like, yeah, although she's 972, outpacing the age of even Methuselah, the lines on her face outnumbering the rings on the largest sequoia tree in the world. No worries. Because, women live longer than men. I mean, honestly. Sometimes I get the feeling the deck is stacked over here. I swear.
Why, Ike, whatever do you mean? Maybe poker's just not your game.